Hi, this is Mark Sellers, author of The Funnel Principle and Blind Spots, The Hidden Killer of Sales Coaching. Both books are available on Amazon.com. Check them out. I've been doing a lot of work these days with my clients, helping them with their 57% leads. Those of you who are familiar with the Challenger Sale book published in 2011 by CEB, which is now CEB Gartner, they coined this term 57%. Their research found the following. Customers routinely went through 57% of their decision-making journey before they picked up the phone and contacted a salesperson. They say that it's even worse today. That book was written 10 years ago. It's worse today. It's 75%. But I like the term 57%, so I'm going to stick with that. Well, my clients at Breakthrough Sales Performance and we talk about what that actually means. And here's what we've concluded with our system, what that means. We've concluded that it means that the customer is committed to buying something from somebody. They've reached that, we call it the checkbox stage of the buy cycle funnel. They've committed to buy something from somebody. That means they could have decided to kick out the incumbent or buy something entirely new, but they're not thinking about it. They're committed to doing that. This is a pivotal stage, right? So your job at this point is to do everything you can to win the deals, which is easier said than done. But we have to do that because a lot of sales funnels, maybe you can relate to this, have these 57% leads in them, where you've been out of the loop, for the first 57% or more of the customer's decision-making journey. Now they're asking you for pricing and quoting. How do you win that deal? All right, it's not a recipe for disaster because there's still a lot of business that you can earn, but here are 3 tips that I'm going to give you to win those 57% deals. You ready? Tip number 1, you have to know the path to cash. So once a customer has decided we're going to buy something from somebody, your job is to know as much detail as possible of how they're going to go from that decision, that stage, to cutting a PO or a contract with somebody. So that means knowing as much detail as you can about the people involved, the stakeholders, buying influences, their motivations, knowing the people that don't want to change, knowing the people that do want to change, knowing the cost, the consequence of not doing something, the payoff if they do. You got to know the timing. Is a committee involved? You got to know all that. And yeah, that's a lot of detail, but the devil is in the details for these 57% leads. Your success will depend on how much you know about these details. So that's number 1. Number 2, lean into your advocates. So we call people who are fighting for your solution advocates, similar to coaches, champions, if you will. This is not the time to be meek with your advocates. It's not the time to say, well, I don't want to push too hard and offend her. There's a deal on the line, for crying out loud. You have to be aggressive about winning these. So be aggressive with your advocates. Ask them for help. Ask them to strategize with you about people and presentations that you might be making, or difficulty in getting access to somebody. How can I improve my chances of getting in front of that stakeholder because a lot's on the line? So really, really leverage your advocates with these 57% deals. Finally, number 3, constant communication with the stakeholders. I can't tell you, unfortunately, the tough lesson, how many times clients of mine have come to me and said, we let too much time pass between communicating with the stakeholders and we got some bad news. You can't do that, right? So you've got to constantly be in communication with these stakeholders to make sure, number 1, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed about their timeline or their requirements or the process they're going about or the roles that people play. Because if you do let too much time pass, then you can be unpleasantly surprised and the deal is lost. So make sure you've got these stakeholders on a very, very tight leash and communicate with them often, at least weekly and maybe even more than once a week. All right. A lot at stake here with these 57% deals. I hope you found this information to be enlightening, insightful. As always, I wish you the best of success. Good selling.